And I must say to you and all those that are watching around the world, choose ye this day whom you'll serve. Because we are closer to the coming of the Messiah than we can realize. Are we live with Shmulik and Michal? Yes, can we bring them up? I'm going to move out of the way. Okay, so you want me here or you want me over to the side? Right in the middle. All right. Shmulik and Michal, can you hear us?
Yes.
Michal, tell us where you were. And first off, we want to thank you for being so brave and courageous to come on and share your story. And from Dallas, Texas, and around the world, we love you. We are with you. As I said before we came on when I was talking in the back, not just today, but we're with you and standing with you and all of Israel forever. And the reason why we're doing these things on Sunday is to keep this before the people, that the further we get away from October 7th, the media moves on to other things. But we need to remember so that we will say to the world, unfortunately, again, never again. Michal, where were you? Tell us what happened on October 7th. I know you're a survivor.
Thank you, Pastor, and thank you for having me. On October 7th, 6:32 in the morning, I was sleeping at home. It's a Saturday morning, a holiday in Israel. We were woken up by alarms going on, the applications on our phones, and red alerts all around in my community. We ran to the safe room, collecting our children on the way. In the safe room, we were trying to understand what was going on because the intensity of the alarms was just growing and growing, something we never experienced before. Living in that area, throughout the years, you kind of develop a sixth sense, so you know how bad the escalation is, but this was something extraordinary, something we've never experienced before. My house is on the last line of the community that I live in. Basically, after me, it's just under less than a kilometer to the Gaza Strip. So we could also hear the missiles being fired toward the middle part of Israel, Tel Aviv and the area. So that was going on for quite a while, and it was really, really strange. And my husband, he's a police officer in an operational division. He's also in reserve duty in the Gaza division. So he immediately got prepared, dressed, and put on his weapons, and he was ready to go, waiting for the call to call him to his duty. And I was with the kids in the safe room, and I told them, listen, this is different from other times. Get dressed, put on shoes. The minute we have, we're gonna run to the car and leave. We'll take care of everything later. Don't think about anything else. We have to get out of here. But that wasn't an option because the bombings just didn't stop. And we were trying to try to understand from the news what was going on, but nobody knew what was going on. And I was going in and out of the safe room trying to collect some clothes and some stuff that we can pack. And at one point I was standing in my bedroom trying to gather some clothes for my husband and myself. And we hear blasts of gunfire really, really close, like a few doors next to me. And we didn't understand what that was. It's so close. We've never heard this before. We thought maybe it was IDF. And then a few seconds afterwards, we heard a lot of shouting in Arabic. And then we understood immediately that we have a penetration of terrorists in our community. So my husband takes his position, and I run back to the safe room to my children. And I give my eldest daughter pepper spray. I give my middle daughter a club. I give my son a helmet that he can use. And I tell them, whatever comes through that door, we have to fight. Don't give up. Don't be a hostage. We have to fight. Whatever it takes. I'm with you. We'll get through this, but fight. And then we hear the shooting in our house, just beyond the safe room's door. And we didn't understand what was going on. And then my husband came in the safe room and he closed the door and he said, I just killed a terrorist trying to get into the house. And as he was finishing this sentence, there was an enormous explosion in the room, and the whole room was filled with gunpowder and smoke, and the electricity went off, and they kept on shooting from Kalashnikovs at us, also at the safe room's iron window from behind. And we lost our balance. We couldn't understand for a minute where we were, but we didn't have time. So my husband and I had to recuperate really, really fast. And he gave me a gun. And then we were looking at each other and we said, okay, we fight until the last bullet. We don't give up. And for some reason, I don't know how to explain it, they decided to move on. And
Wow.
we were sitting there for about 8 hours and hearing them coming back and forth, with the shooting all the time, and all the time around us, the explosion and the bombings and the missiles going off. It didn't stop for 1 second. At around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, IDF comes and rescues us. We open the door and I see my whole house, my children's rooms destroyed. It was something I couldn't bear. The first thing I did was run to the front part of the house, to the soldiers that were in my house. I just gave them water. Just gave them water. It was the only thing I could give them. And I was looking at the house and I understood there's nothing here to salvage. I can't take anything from here except for a Chanukiah and Kiddushkos that my late grandmother bought me. I picked that up, and with my children, we left the house. They took us to a central place in like a community club in the middle of our settlement. And there we stayed up until the next day, where the army gave us clearance to leave. But before we left, they also gave us the opportunity to go back to our houses and collect some stuff for a few minutes. So I ran back to my house and I took pictures that were framed that my late father-in-law drew of my husband and my daughter. And these are the only things that I managed to salvage from my house. And then we all got into the car, and as a convoy, we left. And to this day, I haven't come back. And today, I went back again to see if there's still maybe something I missed on that day. And I couldn't believe, again, the intensity of what they'd done. I couldn't believe we survived it. I couldn't believe we left that house. It was just something very, very hard to cope with.
So, Mikhail, you and your husband and all your children, you made it out. You made it out okay. You survived.
We did, and my husband, 2 days after we left, joined back his unit, and he's now doing reserve. He's fighting for his home. He doesn't want to
Baruch
come
Hashem.
back
Baruch Hashem.
until accomplished. Yeah.
So you, and I don't mean to bring up bad memories, but you and your children, your husband, were fighting them off. You heard them coming and going for 8 hours. What about your neighbors?
Yeah. A neighbor just in front of me, really, really close, had also a terrorist in his house. He separated from his wife. He has 3 small children, girls, and they had to see him kill the terrorist in his house. A few streets just in front of me, a father and a daughter were murdered in their living room. And to the right of me, a few houses down, 2 missing people. We don't know if they're hostages or they're casualties.
Still
We're
don't,
praying for them.
still no word
No.
where they are.
No, we don't know. No.
How far were you from? We've heard so much about them coming in and butchering all these young people. Just horrific things at the music concert for peace. How far were you guys from that, and what did you hear about that?
Well, we're not that far. We're about 5-minute drive from that area. And some people that managed to escape actually managed to get to our community, and they were with us. But up until Sunday evening, I think we didn't comprehend and understand how big this event was. It's not an event, it's, I don't know how to call it, 2023 Holocaust. I imagine in the next few months to come, they will try to redefine it and give it a different name, but we still don't understand. Every day that goes by, we still get bad news. My children have lost their schoolmates, their teachers, their friends from extracurriculum. The things I have to deal with now, I never thought in my worst dreams that I will have to deal with.
What do you feel Israel, as a mother, what do you feel Israel has to do to make sure that this doesn't happen again?
Well, first of all, I have to eradicate Hamas completely. This is not a question. It has to be done. Not just for Israel, for the world. People have to understand it starts maybe with us, but this defines whatever our life and future will look like. They have to be eradicated. They have to know that they cannot continue and they cannot live after doing what they've done. And that is my expectation, because I want to go home. I want to go home. I want to rebuild my home. My children want to go home as well.
How old are your children?
My older daughter is 15 and a half. I have a daughter that in December will be 13, and my son on February will be 10.
And what are they saying to you as their mother about what they experienced as children? It's hard for us to get our, and this is one of the reasons, sweetheart, we're doing this, is to keep this before people of how horrible this was. It wasn't an act of war. It was an act of butcherism. It was an act of barbarianism. And as adults, we can see it a certain way. How are your children reacting to what they experienced?
Well, first of all, this is pure genocide. My children, they say that they look at us as heroes because we managed to protect them and they're safe and sound. But as parents, we have violated the sacred trust between our children because we promised them that they are safe and protected, and that we are protected. Not just us as parents are protecting them, but the army, the state, and that trust has been broken on October 7th, and that is something that we are working very hard not to establish again.
Amen. I talked to a friend in Israel last night after Shabbat was over, and they said nobody in Israel doesn't know somebody that are related to somebody that went through this tragedy on October 7th, and now all of Israel is standing up to make sure this never happens again. Did you, obviously neighbors, did you, and excuse me if I'm asking a bad question, did you lose friends or family in this? I know you lost neighbors, obviously, but did you lose friends or family in this on October 7th? And is your husband, I think you said, is your husband now with the IDF fighting for the nation of Israel as we speak?
Well, of course, like you said it, everybody knows somebody and related on some kind of basis, whether it's family or friends. This is not something that didn't touch it. It touched everybody. You couldn't escape it. Um, of course, we know people. We know we lost a very good, dear friend, teacher of my son, um, and it's difficult. It's just, we can't comprehend it. We can't.
Yeah.
Not to talk about you. They just, our whole lives are ruined. I mean, we're refugees in our own country. There's no school. We don't know when and if they will go back, if they have that ability to sit now and concentrate because, they're going through so much. And our home is devastated.
Will you, and Shmulik, I'm going to come to you in a second here, but sweetheart, will you and your family move back down to your home by the Gaza Strip? Do you feel like you're going to go back there someday?
Well, that is our main target for now. But, of course, we have to see how this war will end, because not at every price, not anymore. I've contributed my part to the protection. I will, but to a point now. I'm sorry. I don't think I'll be able to deal with anything like this again.
Yeah. Well, we here are going to stand up with Israel as loud as we can to make sure that nobody in Israel has to ever go through this again. And we just want you to know that we're with you. We're speaking up for you. We're standing up for you. We're standing up for every one of our brothers and sisters in the nation of Israel. And you can, I know you see things of demonstrations in America and demonstrations in Europe of pro-Palestinian, but I guarantee you that we're rallying the troops over here, and there are more of us than there are of them. We're standing with you.
Thank you so much. It means so much to us. It does. I'm not saying this just to be polite. It's really, I can't express enough my gratitude for this. It's amazing what you guys are doing and that you're with us and you open your hearts. It really means so much to us. It really gives us the strength to push forward and move on.
Well, I'm hoping that Shmulik can set this up. The next time I'm in Israel, we can come and hug you and your husband and your children and let you know that this will never happen again. We love you, sweetheart. Thank you so much for sharing with us what you saw and what you experienced. We're with you. We guarantee it.
Thank you so much.
Amen. Shmulik, just for a few moments, Shmulik, I got to ask, when we were down on the Gaza border with you, Scotty and I were down there at the absorption center. Remember those two little Israeli young girls, those beautiful young girls that we interviewed? And I asked them, I think they were like 11, 12 years old. And in the interview, I asked them, because one of the things that we do working with Karen Herzog and President Herzog is helping treat children who have gone through trauma of terrorist attacks. And remember, I asked them, I said, how do you handle it? And these are, remember, 11 beautiful young Israeli girls. And they said, we just get used to it. And we thought, and we said, we've got to make sure that no 11-year-old child gets used to terrorists coming and trying to kill them. Those two little girls, Shmulik, do we know where they are? Are they okay?
Yeah, first of all, Pastor Larry, I want to start by saying thank you to your family. And I receive message of prayer and encouragement from your family, from you, from Pastor Scott, almost on a daily basis. And this is so important and so encouraging for us at this critical time. So thank you for standing with Israel and thank you for supporting us. Michal, I know it was very hard for you to open your heart after going through such a difficult and horrible experience, and I thank you really for taking opening your heart and sharing this story. And I'm telling you, Pastor Larry mean every word that he says. He is standing with Israel. He will come to Israel. He will hug each and every member of your family, and he will fight for the people of Israel. So thank you, all of you at New Beginning Church. And answering your question, Pastor Larry, yes, these two girls are in a safe place also thanks to your support. Because one of the things that we are doing, we are evacuating people from the south and even, unfortunately, from the north. We have already evacuated 2,231 new immigrants from our absorption center from the south and moved them into a safe place. And not only evacuating them in those places, we are helping them and bringing professional people to work with them, like Michal shared. Their children cannot go straight away to school like nothing happened. So we are giving them all the support that they need. And this is something that really we are doing with the support that we receive from you. And not only that, you know, unfortunately, Pastor Larry, this is a genocide against the Jewish people. We have 1,400 people who lost their life. Most of them are civilians. This evil, this darkness, they didn't have the courage to go and fight against our army. So what they did is they killed innocent civilians who didn't have any weapons in their hands and started butcher them one after the others. They have kidnapped 230 people. In those 230 people, 32 children under the age of 18. These are animals. They are not even human. 20 people above the age of 75. Among them also Holocaust survivor. These are the people that we are dealing with. And Michal is 100% right. We cannot expect Michal to go back to her village until we don't eliminate this evil from the world. I also want to say, Pastor Larry, with your help, and I want you to know it, I think you shared it with your community. Not long ago, you have donated a mobile bomb shelter. Michal, you probably know the kibbutz Yad Mordechai. So in the kibbutz Yad Mordechai, there is a mobile bomb shelter with the name of New Beginning Church. And Pastor Larry, you saved life. 2 weeks ago and today, every day, there are still people in this kibbutz that their life is being saved thanks to your support. We also have in the absorption center in Be'er Sheva, Ethiopian new immigrants that are there, and they have a safe room to go because of your support. We have provided 8,000 food package for elderly Holocaust survivor all across the country, thanks to your help. And this is critical. This elderly, they're afraid to go out from their house at this time. And in many places, the supermarket are even closed. And to get medication, it's very difficult. So with your support, we are helping those people. And like you see, Michal over here and all the family that's lost their dear one and all the kidnapping, we are providing immediate grant on spot, immediately to each and every one of this family. And this is the first grant that we are giving them. And joining forces with the government official of Israel, we will continue to be with them, at least, if not more, for the next 3 years, and to give them any possible support that they need. So thank you. Keep praying for the people of Israel and keep supporting us at this time of crisis. We need you.
Amen. Amen. Shmulik, a word of encouragement. Number one, last week I flew to Pittsburgh and did a Christian television network where they were going to raise funds for Israel. And they got 10 times the amount of calls in one night than they've ever got in a week of doing their share-a-thon, Standing with Israel. And I haven't even told the church yet. So they'll hear it for the first time. Next week, we're partnering with rabbis in Israel and rabbis here in Texas in our service next Sunday at 10 o'clock, Jews and Christians coming together to be a voice that we are standing with the nation of Israel. And I got a phone call, and I won't say who the pastor is to protect him and his family, but I got a phone call from a pastor last night. He and his family met together. They have a small church. It's not a huge church. And their son-in-law is a Palestinian Christian. And they met together and they said, as a family, Pastor Larry, we're going to send you $10,000 to send to Israel to support the Jewish people. And so, Shmulik, I don't want to keep you guys real long. How important is it? We've been working with you guys. We've been standing with Israel for 30 years. But how important is it that we stand and we send finances to the nation of Israel right now? How important is it right now?
I want to answer Pastor Larry and say, a few months ago, me, you, Pastor Scott and Katie, we met in Poland and we went together to Auschwitz. And I remember you saying over there, no, never again, never again. You were marching with me and thousands of people together and you says, never again. And you know, Pastor Larry, unfortunately, it happened again.
Amen.
And I compare what happened to us without saying too much. And I compare what happened to us to the Holocaust. Those evil people went into the houses and murdered parents and children, tied them together, burned them, raped women. They did exactly what me and you heard the story when we were together in Auschwitz. That's what happened here in Israel.
Amen.
In 1945, we didn't have any voice that will stand up and will shout and will help us and support us. And today, thank God, Pastor Larry, thanks to you. And I know that, Pastor Larry, I told you this. In the minute that you heard what happened in Israel, that's what I felt. You and the entire congregation, you put a uniform on you and you have started to go from one interview to another television and you are speaking for the people of Israel. And you know, unfortunately, the world, it's been like 2.5 weeks and the world slowly starting to forget the Israel side and starting to look on the picture that's coming from Gaza. So we need your voice. We need your voice around the world so the world know what happened in Israel, and we cannot go into our normal life until we don't eliminate this evil out of the world.
Amen.
And Pastor Larry, we are only at the beginning of this war, unfortunately. You know, our enemy from the north, which is even much more dangerous, is attacking us on a daily basis. And together with the evil from Iran, they are waiting for the opportunity. So we don't know yet where this war is going to go. And we need your help very, very much. We want to support those thousands of people that's lost their life or got injured. We want to protect our people with mobile bomb shelters. We want, like I know you're doing, we need more ambulance for the army, and I know that you're working very hard on it. We will need to provide more food packets for the Holocaust survivor and our new immigrants who we thought that we're going to evacuate them down for 5 days. We realize that we are going to pay for their evacuation for many more days to come. So we need your support. We need your prayer. We need your voice around the world to support with Israel, and we need every possible support.
Well, from us here in Dallas and all of our partners around the world to both of you, we pledge our prayers, we pledge our voice, and we pledge our finances to stand with the nation of Israel at such a time as this.
Thank you.
And we won't be silent. We won't be silent. And we're letting the world know Israel is the only nation that has to defend itself for defending itself. and we will say loud and clear, Israel has the right and the obligation to remove this enemy off the face of the earth forever. We love you guys. Thank you, sweetheart, for sharing with us. I can't wait to meet you in the land of Israel and hug you and your family. Our best is yet to come. We'll see you guys soon. Give them a great big hand. God bless you guys. We love you. Amen.
Thank you.